everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the eyeBytes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel, and with me as always, the Scully to my Mulder, my good friend, Sajandeep. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm actually liking the weather. How are you doing, man?
I have to admit, it's actually pretty nice outside. It's not quite summer weather, although I kind of prefer the fall weather because we are October now as we're recording this. But, you know, the last couple of days have been really hot, like summer weather. And I'm like, give me the fall weather. I'm tired of this hot weather.
You know what? 29 tomorrow degrees Celsius. Tomorrow and Wednesday.
You're kidding me, right?
Nope. Turn your AC on.
Fudge. Really? 29?
29 Tuesday and Wednesday.
Oh my goodness. What the heck is going on?
It was actually 26, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but what's going on? This is a fall. We're October. We're not supposed to get summer weather.
Well, it's going to drop down again. So
bloody Thursday, better 26, be, man, because this is ridiculous.
Friday 23, and then Thursday is going to be 12, 11.
It's a good thing I wear shorts and t-shirts all year round. Jeez Louise. It's like freaking hot outside. But no, it's been pretty good. Like, it's been a while since we recorded, though, because it's we just didn't have time. Plus
didn't have time. We were busy working, and nothing much was happening. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we did have a few events that we're going to bring up today, and also something else, a beta that we all joined recently as well. Like, actually, no, I think it's been a while since we've joined, you and I, but it's been open to everybody else last week. So we'll talk about that later on. But this is a new segment of our show. What did we recently buy? Saj, what have you bought recently?
I actually gave my old Blue Yeti microphone away to somebody. But I bought a new Yeti.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good excuse to buy another one. I was going to say that.
I actually needed an excuse to buy one. The Pro model, because I wanted the XLR port. The non-Pro version doesn't have the XLR port. It's just USB only. And I wanted to plug it into my mixer and use that microphone for YouTube recordings and whatnot. I have one recorded, but now I think it's outdated because Apple did something different, which I'll get to later on.
Yeah.
And I can't post that anymore, so that I had to scrap.
No. Wah, wah.
Yeah. I bought a new bike lock because I dropped my other one somewhere on the streets, and new water bottle because it also fell somewhere on the streets, and a car ran over it, and it was flat.
Oh wow, lovely.
Yeah, aluminum one too. It wasn't plastic.
Darn. I hate that.
So how was yours?
Well, for me, I haven't bought anything major. Well, there's one thing I bought, but we'll talk a little bit later on when we get to that item on the list. But actually, you know what? I've been playing around with work. I've been getting loaners with one of our departments that loan out assistive technologies. And lately, I've been playing around with Braille displays. And a while back ago, I wanted to play around with, for me, I want to play around with a keyboard / Braille display combo. And so I have a friend of mine, Kathleen, who uses the Mantis Q40, and she loves it. And I thought I'd give it a shot. So a while back ago, I borrowed it from this organization or this group or this program within the government. And I had it for a while. I did like it. It was well built. I'm coming from a Braille Sense U2. That was the display I had for many years. And HIMS, I don't know if it's me, but HIMS has a tendency of making high quality products. Like, there's stuff you feel it and it's well built. It's built like a tank. And the HIMS is great. Not the HIMS, sorry. The Mantis was great. It's not as high quality as the HIMS quality products, but it is well built. It's a 40 cell display. It has a laptop style keyboard. I loved it. It was great to use. There was only one downside when I was typing on it. I think we mentioned this in the previous episode as well. But yeah, I on my computer, I kept double typing letters. And I didn't mean to. I was typing normally, but for some odd reason, it kept double inputting letters. And I had to go back and correct my spelling. And I tried everything, trying to play around with the Windows settings. I even reached out to APH, or I think it's, I'm blanking on their name there. It's not APH. APH built it, but it's Humanware that also is in partnership with them to make the Mantis. And I reached out to Humanware. I sent them some logs and stuff like that. So I only have this display for a short time, so I sent it back, and the next one on my list to play around with was the HIMS QBraille XL. And this, again, like the HIMS products, it's well built. It's a solid machine. One downside: this is supposed to be like the Mantis, but like take a keyboard and you have your F1, F12, all your keys on each side of your letters, your space, all that, and you have your letters. Well, the Mantis, it's pretty much this like a laptop keyboard, but the Q Braille replaced the A to Z on your keyboard and put a Perkins style keyboard. So Perkins keyboard, for those who might not be aware, when you have a Braille display or a Braille typewriter, like in the olden days, when I was younger, that's what I use, an old typewriter. I still have it though. And it has a specific type of keyboard called a Perkins keyboard. And basically you have a key for each dot on the Braille cell. You have a space bar, a backspace, an enter, and that's it. And on this Q Braille, you have your regular keyboard, your F1 to F12, your tab, shift, caps lock, your Windows key, your control, alt, space bar, the whole works, except remove the A to Z letters and replace it with the Perkins keyboard. And it's great. But one problem I have is because I'm so used to using a keyboard when I'm navigating Windows, you got to, for example, going to the desktop, you got to press Windows D. Well, on this one, on the Mantis, for example, you'd press Windows and you press the letter D. Well, on the Q Braille, you got to press the Windows key, plus you got to press the dots 1, 4, and 5 to make the letter D. So that's 4 buttons you got to press just to go to your desktop versus 2 with a regular keyboard. So I've tried it for a while and I don't like it. It's not for me. It's just the Perkins keyboard. Like, it's great to type it. Like I've gotten a little bit used to typing a little bit with the Perkins keyboard. I'm much faster with a regular standard keyboard, and with this, it's just not working for me. So unfortunately, I'm sending it back. There's another one that they're going to lend me out. It's just a simple display, no keyboard, nothing on it. I'm just too used to my Logitech keyboard. I like it too much that I just can't get away from it.
It's so comfortable. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you're so used to it, eh? Like, well, not just that. It's just when it comes to like a regular keyboard. I'm just so used to using a regular keyboard that trying to use a Braille display / keyboard is just like the Mantis was great. I loved it for that, but it's just it was a laptop keyboard, so no numpad, and some people can adjust themselves to using a laptop keyboard. As for me, I'm so used to using the numpad that it feels weird. But I've been able to get a Bluetooth numpad that actually I heard from Technically Working. The Mossy actually recommended this one. I'm blanking on the name. I think it was called an iClever, I think. And it's a Bluetooth numpad, and you can connect it to 2 devices. It has your arrow key, your inverted T. It's got your 6 buttons above that, like your page up, page down, home, end, delete, insert, and you have your typical numpad on the right side with your numbers. So it's actually bigger than another numpad I have, which is a wired one. And I kind of made it work with the Mantis. It worked fine, but it's just the Mantis is higher off the desk than the numpad, so it kind of felt weird. And I just kept going back to my Logitech keyboard because it's all in one. It's all even on this keyboard. So, yeah. Darn you, Stephen Scott, for getting me to buy this bloody keyboard, because he's the one he's from Double Tap Canada who recommended this keyboard.
He was.
Yeah, he's the one that first got this one. Yeah, I told you, but he's the reason I got this keyboard, because I was in the market for a keyboard, and he was testing them out, and he talked about
somebody else too.
Yeah,
the same person I gave the mic to, the E80 microphone. I bought the new keyboard for that person too.
Yeah, it's a great. Awesome. It's just, I don't know. It's solid. It works really well. The Logitech software is not the most accessible, but when it comes to programming the 4 keys above the numpad, it is doable. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it works. But yeah, other than that, I've been buying a couple of accessories, primarily for the one thing I bought that's coming soon that we'll talk later. And yeah, than that, not much actually. I've been trying to avoid spending money because life costs a lot of money. So it's anyways, so let's move on to our first item. So the big thing that happened while we were away, the Apple keynote. So they announced, like typical, new iPhones, new Apple Watches. I think that was a new AirPods Pro 2s. So for example, let's start with the iPhone. So they had the iPhone 15, the iPhone 15 Plus, the iPhone 15 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. No Ultra. Ooh, darn, that sucks. That's a shame. Now, what do you think of it?
Hopefully next year. But I know that you bought an iPhone 15.
Okay, well, I did have to bring that. I was going to mention that afterwards, but okay. So yes, this year, I was waiting for the 15s to be announced because I have an old iPhone 11. It's showing its age, and I decided this year that I was going to spoil myself a little bit. And normally I go for the standard. I would have gone for the 15. But I decided to go pro this year. And I figured, what the heck? So I bought the 15 Pro Max, although now I'm looking at some of the reviews and I'm kind of like a bit worried because Jerry rigged everything, did some testing on the hardware, and within a few seconds he cracked the back glass, and I was like, okay, that's not good. And some people were saying the phone's overheating. So we have a friend.
But you know what?
Ours,
those two are minor things. Now, personally, to me, I think that cracking there was because they moved to the easier,
possibly,
easier to the way they can replace the glass. Now instead of paying $500-$600 for your phone back glass, and I only had to pay $200. So the way that they've applied it, that you can open the back, maybe has to do something with it. But he also did durability test the regular Max, the Plus model, sorry. Yeah, and he also bent the Pro, the smaller Pro, and nothing happened. So
but the Pro is smaller, the Pro Max is bigger.
It is, I know, but the Plus model was also fine too. So I mean, maybe it was a defective model that he got. Who knows? But yes, the screen, it does crack faster, both sides. Is because the glass.
That's not something I want to hear when I just bought one of those bloody things. So
I understand that, but it's, you know what? Because the glass curves, right? Your 11 also curves.
Yeah,
from both sides.
But it's going to be the case too.
Your 11 curves a lot more than this one will.
It's going to protect it. I got a case, so it's going to protect them more. Like, we have a friend of ours, Shane, who has a 15 Pro Max. Lucky bum. I'm so jealous. But he has one, and I've asked him like a couple. I'm sorry, Shane, if I've been bugging you a lot. But I've been asking him like, does your back bend a lot? Well, it does bend, but when you let go of the back panel, it kind of bends back to normal.
So he did bend it.
Funny. So he says he pushed down on it, and you could tell the glass kind of indented a bit, but then as soon as it let go, it went back to normal. So I was like, okay, that's good. And he says it doesn't really overheat either. So he hasn't noticed it overheating.
It's not as interesting.
Well, mine's gonna go in a case. I just bought the case today. They're from Spigen, so I bought the MagSafe Tough Armor one. So that's I was like, so
the overheat. By the way, before you move on, I'm going to mention the overheating thing. Apple already mentioned it. They already came out with Forbes. They mentioned that they are working on it with.
Is it software or is it hardware?
And software. Yeah, software.
So it's mainly software, so that causes it. Okay,
yes, so but again, it's mostly Instagram and Uber. So far, those are the two apps that are causing it.
So if it's a software thing, then it's a software thing, it won't be an issue down the road. So, but anyways, we'll go back to so I bought a 15 Pro Max. I just stuck with the base model, black. Unfortunately, I'm not getting it for another couple more weeks, so it's like, darn, everybody else is getting it before, and I'm still waiting for mine.
But USB-C, man.
Yeah, that's what. We'll go with the through the line. So we have the 15 and the 15 Plus are using the same processor as the 14 Pro last year. I don't know about the megapixels, but it's got better cameras. It actually has the dynamic islands. Yeah, it's got dynamic islands, got better cameras. I think the refresh rate's still the same on the 60.
Yeah, 60 hertz. Yeah.
And it's apparently I saw Mr. Who's the Boss did a battery test on the 15 Pro, Pro Max, Plus 15, and the 14 Pro Max and the 13 Pro Max. And apparently the winner was the 15 Plus. Had the better battery than all of them.
I mean, Apple does say that the 15 Plus and the 14 Plus last year they mentioned that the Plus model will get the best battery life.
Bigger, probably doesn't have as much high-end processors or components that drain a little more battery.
Sounds weird. It's kind of. I mean, it does have a bigger battery than all of them, but also I was wondering because I thought it would cancel it out with the Pro Max because the Pro Max has a refresh rate screen that can go from 1 hertz to all the way to 120 hertz.
Yeah.
And if you're watching content that's like 24 hertz, it actually matches that frame rate.
Yeah, but for somebody who's blind,
the regular Plus is always going to be at 60 frames, no matter what you do.
Yeah, but also most blind people have a Pro. They don't really the brightness goes down to 0 and the screen curtain's turned on, so the refresh rate's kind of useless.
Yeah, you will guys save a lot of battery, and make sure you turn off that always on display too.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of settings. Like I'm gonna back up my phone to iTunes encrypted, and I'm gonna restore it, and that's the way I can get my passwords copied over. So All right, so moving on from the 15 Plus, we have the Pro Max, the Pro and Pro Max. I think it's the A17 Pro chip. It's got obviously better cameras, the 128 refresh rate. It's got the dynamic island like before. It's got the Pro Max.
You didn't mention that the 15 Plus has a dynamic island now too.
Yeah, the 15 Plus both have the dynamic island, just like the Pro and Pro Max as well. All 4 devices have USB-C, except the 15 and 15 Plus have USB 2.0. While the Pro and Pro Max
cable does not come in the box.
What?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
kidding me? No.
The cable that they ship with the 15 Pro Max and the 15 Pro, you will not get USB-C, which is braided, but you will not get 3.0 speeds.
No, who cares? It's a USB-C cable. Not like I ever use their cable anyways. I always end up buying Anchor cables anyways. But
no, which is fine. But I'm just saying, if you guys want to, like, let's say use a SSD to transfer files or whatever, you're only gonna get USB-C 2.0 speeds with a regular cable that's being shipped. So you make sure you buy a faster cable to support speed.
The 15 and 15 Plus come with the braided cable too, I think, eh? Or is it just a regular USB-C cable?
No, they're braided.
They all come with braided. Okay, that's good. No charging brick this year.
Nope, that's gone forever, I think.
But yeah, so the Pro and Pro Max have USB 3. Now, I wasn't too sure. So apparently, some of the perks so the Pro Max does have a periscope camera, this weird, I don't know what they
Tetraprism.
I don't know. It's a weird name. Yeah, Tetraprism or something. And apparently it's supposed to be a pretty good lens. It gives you a 5x optical zoom. I really don't care. I'm just going to be using it for Tetraprism. Yeah. So yeah, it's obviously the Pro has a bit more higher specs than the regular model. Now I know that the Pro Max, I think it's the Pro as well, can do the Apple Vision 3D videos, right? Or is it just the Pro Max that can do it?
The Pro Max.
So the Pro doesn't do it then?
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay. No, I don't know because they don't have the cameras, but the Pro and Pro Max, I know the Pro Max does it. I think the Pro does it. I'm not sure. Basically what it does, it takes the 2 cameras on the right side. So when you flip it landscape mode, it'll be both cameras at the top. Well, if you put landscape mode with the USB-C on the right, I believe it's the 2 cameras on the top, and it's kind of like the bottom.
Right, top. You're right. Yes.
Yeah, because my 13 Plus, the 2 cameras on the right side when you're holding it in portrait mode. But so yeah, when you tilt it to landscape, you'll be able to record in 3D video. That the 2 cameras on the right side. So when you turn it landscape mode with the USB-C on the right, the 2 cameras on the top left corner, those are going to be doing you can record in the Apple Vision Pro videos. But those suckers, I'm guaranteed they're going to take a heck of a lot of memory on your storage. But the bonus now, and I think these are only on the Pro, I'm not sure if the regular ones have this, but you can record directly to a hard drive or USB-C key connected to your phone now.
Only the USB, the Pro models, yes.
Okay, so the regular ones don't do it, but the Pro do. So you can plug in like a hard drive, you can plug in a USB-C thumb drive, and you can record these videos. Can you take photos directly to the hard drive as well, or is it just video? Okay, so basically it looks like you can record anything you record on your phone. You can, instead of having it on your local drive, you can save it on an external hard drive, because that would be awesome. That's also the reason why I didn't buy the 512 or 1 terabyte phone. Well, because they're also bloody expensive, but I bought the base model, so that'll be kind of nice thing if I want to transfer, and I could probably transfer stuff over to to a hard drive directly from the phone too. But anyway, so yeah, that was the phones primarily. I'm sorry, not much in details, but I don't have anything up in front of me here now for the event. It's been a while. The next thing we had were a new S9 Apple Watch and a new Ultra 2 Apple Watch. What do you think of that? Are you happy to have another Ultra Watch, or?
I wish they came in a different color. I think everyone's keep mentioning that they want a black version of it.
That'd be nice.
That'll be pretty cool as well. But the only one feature that they announced was that double pinch feature with the Series 9. Yes, it has a new processor, but I was wishing that they could have added maybe some other features, just the pinching feature.
Well,
so now I want to talk to you a little bit about this pinching feature, this gesture feature. So you can like pinch with your index finger and your thumb to perform any action. So let's say if you got a phone call, you can just pinch twice to answer that phone call. If you want to decline it's not necessarily not decline, but hang up, you do the same gesture.
Yeah.
It's that one simple gesture.
It's kind of like the magic tap almost.
Yeah. But the previous version, I think WatchOS 8, or was it 9?
9.
That they introduced.
Yeah, WatchOS 9. They had that in the accessibility settings though, right?
Yeah. They had more.
But you have to trigger it though.
Yeah. So Apple can, Apple. What you could do was use different gestures. So you can have a pinch, clench, and what else do we have? Double pinch, triple pinch.
I don't know. I never used
clench, it. Double clench to control the whole entire watch, either with voiceover or assistive touch. Now, they actually the older watches do get that same gesture, the double pinching. Instead of being in the main settings, it's still under accessibility and then gestures.
But you still have to trigger it on, though.
Yeah, you still have to trigger it on. I'm not sure about the new watches, though.
I think newer watches, from what I read, it seems like it's on, like it's always looking for that, so you don't have to go enable that mode in order to start using the gestures. I think if you just do the double clench, it triggers.
It's always on. The only difference is that the pinching does come to older Apple Watches, but you have to go to the accessibility feature and turn it on.
Okay.
It is different from the voiceover and the assistive touch. It's under gestures, accessibility gestures. If you go there, turn it on, it will only activate when you have a phone call coming in, or if you want to play pause music on your phone, or start an Apple Fitness Plus workout. I noticed it popping up, but with the S9 series chip is always on and listening or looking for that gesture. Where this one, with older Apple Watches, that gesture would only start looking for that gesture when there's a phone call coming in or whatnot. Because you can actually scroll down with double pinching too, which you can't do with older watches.
Nice. Yeah, so these are only but these are only on the S9 and the Ultra 2, not on the. I don't think it's on the Ultra 1 or the older watches.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think the older watches you can still get the old mode where you can go in assistive touch and accessibility, but that one I think you have to manually turn it on, and then you can start using the gestures. While the S9 and 8 Ultra 2 have it always on.
It's always on. So and you can turn it off too if you don't like it.
So, but yeah, those. So you have the Series 9 and the Ultra. I'm not too sure on the pricing for the phones and the watches, but you can go look on the Apple Store. I'm sure you can find it. I can tell you the Pro Max starts at was it $1,750 Canadian? That's how much it costs for me, plus taxes. So yeah, it's a pretty penny. But yeah, the Pros and the 15 and 15 Plus, yeah, they're I think they're less than that. But yeah, it's the prices are a little bit expensive, but no, it's Apple products. You pay the Apple premium. As for the watches, I'm not too sure what the price is, but I'm sure the Ultra is just as expensive as it was before, like $1,200, which I think is so bloody expensive. For a watch, $1,200 for a watch. I'm sorry, that's just a bit too expensive. Besides that, they also had, I think the other thing they announced were AirPods Pro 2s. Same as before, nothing's changed. The only difference is that this one has USB-C instead of a Lightning connector.
And they did actually.
Yeah, but hardware-wise, they're identical.
But there is something. There's one more new thing.
Yeah, but that's software, isn't it?
It's software, but it only works with the Apple Vision Pro headset that you'll get lossless audio.
Oh, yeah, that one too. Yeah, well, who's going to buy a freaking Vision Pro? Well, sorry, you are.
You'll be surprised. People will keep saying, who's going to buy that
you're gonna buy one for
AirPods and a bunch of different things that Apple released.
Yeah, I forgot about the lossless thing. Yeah. I know. I saw my AirPods Pro 2. They still work fine. Although I find the transparency mode is not as good as my AirPods Max. I put the transparency mode, and it's like I if they didn't have a pressure on my skull, I wouldn't even know I'm wearing them. Like they sound like the transparency is so bloody amazing. AirPods Pro 2, yeah, the transparency is good, but it's like I find it's not as clear or as hidden away as the AirPods Max. Makes you feel so. But that was pretty much the Apple event. Like, I don't know if there's anything else I missed, or are you buying anything from the Apple keynote? Or
well, we want to do one.
When are you getting your 15 Pro Max? I know you want to buy that one.
I do want to buy that one, but no, I'm gonna wait until I get the 16, dude. This year,
it's the Ultra.
I honestly don't know. I might wait for the 17. Who knows?
You just want a better phone.
My phone's working really well.
You just want a better phone than me.
No.
I know it.
It's not that. It's not that. But I do want to mention one thing from the Apple event. No more leather cases.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
How do you feel about that?
I honestly don't care because
or even leather Apple Watch bands. I guess the ones that we bought are exclusive.
Yeah, it's just honestly, no offense to Apple, but obviously they're a high-end brand, but I find they overcharge for a lot of their stuff, including a lot of their accessories are way overpriced. Some of their cases are between $80 to $150 to $400 or $500. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's just I think how much are the leather ones?
The leather one was worth $79. Yeah,
$79. That's a bit pricey for a case, but this is a leather, so I guess it's not that bad. But this new thinly woven case, like I hear a lot of people scratching this thing, and it doesn't.
They
look
are
pretty
purposely taking a nail to it and trying to do it. I don't know how it will fare with normal with jeans. Maybe will it discolor? Will the jeans just discolor it? Like leather gets discolored, but again, leather also patinas. Where I don't know how that fabric is going to fare for time.
When you're spending a lot of money on a phone, buy a decent case. Don't buy an Apple case. I'm sorry. I bought.
I'm not gonna lie. The case was fine. Yeah. I dropped my phone. I accidentally forgot to lock my phone in the mount on my bike, and I had a bump, and the phone went flying down, and the case went to pieces, but the phone was fine. The screen protector.
That's what you want. You want the screen protector in the case to be banged up, but your phone be perfectly fine. Like I always bought this Spigen Tough Armor, and that goes back to when I bought my iPhone 6 Plus, like a long time ago, because I was looking for a case after I bought it, and nobody had cases for it yet except for Spigen. I'm like, my brother helped me out, and he's like, oh, here's a case that looks pretty nice, and it's thin, it's not too bulky, and so we bought it, and I've just been with those cases ever since. I've always bought the Spigen Tough Armor, and yeah, like every phone that work gave me for testing, every personal phone I've had, I've always bought a Spigen Tough Armor. Heck, even my work 13 Plus, I put a Tough Armor on there. And granted, I didn't buy the MagSafe version, but for the 15 Pro Max, I did buy the Tough Armor MagSafe version, black. So it's going to match with my phone. Plus, it'll work with that nice little Belkin charging dock that a generous friend spent on me. Which I was not asking for, but this friend will remain anonymous. But it was, so I'll be able to use that MagSafe finally after all these years. It'll be cool. For me, it's like, I don't want to spend $80, $90, $100 for a case or a band. I'd rather just spend $20, $30 for these things. Like my case alone I bought was like $35 for a Spigen case, and it's if it's anything like the 13 Pro Max, it's pretty tough.
So it's kind of funny because when you spend so much money on a phone and you want to protect that advancement,
but it doesn't mean you can spend $300 on a case and it'll be even better.
And then you're going to spend $300 to protect $1,000 investment, but you have to protect that other $300.
Yeah, it's like
investment.
But again,
it's like protecting the investment over.
It doesn't necessarily mean that a $300 case will be any better than a $30 case. That's the thing.
No,
it's like people think to spend.
It doesn't matter. That people have done even a screen protector drop test where they apply a dollar one versus a $20, $30, $60 screen protector, and the way that the phone falls, you have no idea how it's going to hit the ground, how the shock is going to.
I've had family complain that they don't like Apple products because it breaks really easily and they'd rather take a Google. And it was one of my nieces, and I teased her. I told her, look, it doesn't matter whether it's an Apple product or a Google product. If you drop this thing the right way, it will shatter. It is glass. It is metal. It will shatter. It's not because it's a Google product that will shatter less than if it's an Apple product. But my niece was also very rough on it too as well. So she was really tough on her stuff. For me, I've dropped it a few times with the case, but it's never shattered. Thankfully, knock on wood. I have to be careful with my phone because I'm giving my 11 to my youngest niece, and she's like, "When are you getting your new phone? When are you getting your new phone?" I'm getting it soon. Stop bothering me. Sorry. She knows who she is. She's probably listening to this right now. She's probably laughing right now with me saying this, but yeah, she's been asking me like, when am I getting my new phone? I'm actually giving her the Belkin charging station. She's like, I'm coming to get your charging station you promised me. I'm like, I still need it. I haven't gotten my new phone yet, so I still need the old one. It's like, oh, okay, never mind then. So anyways, moving on. Next thing on our list, we had Amazon had an event as well not too long ago. My apologies, I did not listen to it because I don't have any Amazon products. I have a few friends who have Amazon products, but I don't. So I'm not sure.
I only know one thing that they actually introduced. There was a Google, not Google, Amazon like a show type screen with less, I don't know, bezels, or I don't know. I really didn't look into it. I did see it once pop up on my Amazon app when I opened it when it first came out. I was gonna pre-order it, but I didn't. Then I don't know, something changed.
I'm just opening up an article here from The Verge, who's talking about what happened at the event. Apparently, they're going to charge users to use their new Echo 8 as a photo frame. That's one thing. I was like, oh, okay. I was not aware of that. What else do they have?
Yeah, because the screen is larger, so that's what I was thinking, to put it on my desk that I can display my cameras or something in my house.
And they have an Echo Hub. New Fire TVs, apparently. And a new Echo Show 8, which looks pretty nice. Probably it's smarter and better.
Well, I mean, it should be, right?
They're not really discussing a lot of what was announced. Like, talking about a Fire Stick soundbar. New Echo frames. I thought that was dead. Now, here's another thing that I'm interested in. I'm not going to buy one because this is way too much. It's the new Aero. Yeah, it's an Aero Max 7. It's a new router that apparently is like $600. I'm like, I'm not spending that much. I have Aeros in my house. I only have 2 Aero Pros, and I love these routers. I wish there was more Ethernet ports in the back of them, though. It only has 2. So the one in my office has the modem plugged into it, and the other one has a Ethernet splitter. But I have another one in my living room to help me with my bandwidth there. But yeah, there's this new Max 7, which is like $600. I'm like, wow, this looks like a beast. Apparently, it's made for like consumers, but also enterprise level as well. So it's like, okay, there's a new Ring stick-up cam as well. I don't know what the hell that's about. Apparently, they're going to be supercharging Alexa with AI. Echo Hubs as well. Yeah, soundbar, new faster streaming sticks. And yeah, so it's a lot of cool stuff. You can go look on, I'm sure you can find a lot of articles that talks about what's going on with Amazon. I'm not a big Alexa user, so I probably will not be buying anything Alexa. I'm more HomePod, so I will stick with that. But as for that, next thing on the list we have is a Microsoft event. Again, this is not another event I listen to a lot. I did listen to the Double Tap Canada who talked about the event. From what I understand, there is a Windows 11 23H2 update, which is coming down the pipeline. I think this update is going to be introducing a new Copilot feature, which is going to be using some OpenAI throughout the operating system to help you with tasks. So if you're like in Word, for example, you could use the AI or the Copilot to help you, better work on documents if you're somewhere in the operating system. So it's like, I think it's situation based, or how can I say it, area centric. So if you're like in a certain area, the Copilot's going to be working specifically to help you with that area versus another one. So it might work differently in the operating system settings versus Microsoft Word or Excel or Outlook. That looks pretty cool. I haven't gotten the update yet. I keep updating it. I don't put the betas, or I just leave whatever's available for general consumers. I don't use betas. I only have one device. I don't want to risk doing something and breaking something, so I'd rather just use the GMs or the versions which are available to the public. But yeah, it looks like it's. I'm guessing they probably have new Surfaces. Maybe they have a new Surface Go 3 laptop.
A Surface. Okay, sorry, I heard you say Surface.
A Surface Studio 2, Surface Go 4. I don't know what the heck is this. There's a lot of hardware. Again, I'm sure they probably had some laptops. I do apologize if we're not really in detail. Again, we're not professionals in any sense of the word. So we just bring it up. So yeah, Microsoft and Amazon had events, and
Microsoft did have a cool tablet though. I like their tablet slash like computer
I think it's
thing.
The Studio, I think it is a big monitor that kind of like is up in an angle and it looks like a canvas or something.
No, that's different. The one with like the iPad competitor.
Oh, that's
whatever that is.
I don't know.
It has a keyboard and it's all like fabric-y. I don't know.
It's probably a Surface, probably.
Oh, I believe it's a Surface, yeah.
I don't know. To be honest, I never had a Surface. It'd be kind of fun to play around with them. But I don't know. For me,
Microsoft, if you're listening,
Yeah, if you want to send us free hardware to play around with and talk about, we'll be glad to do this. We don't everything that we talk about that we own, we bought it with our own money. So we have nobody that's generous enough to send us demos to play around with.
Not yet.
So we're not that popular yet. So hopefully one day we'll be there, up there with Joe Rogan and Dax Shepard and making millions of dollars.
I think you're asking a little bit too much there now.
We never know. Who knows? But yeah, so these are the events that we had. So the Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. So you guys are interested to look into it more, check it out. And last but not least that we have on the list. So for a while now, there's an app that's called Be My Eyes that everybody is probably aware of in the blind community. Allows you to be able to connect with a volunteer to get some sighted assistance. There's also a section where you can connect with businesses, their technical support, to get some assistance as well from Microsoft, for example, or other type of places. Kind of like Ira, but Ira's paid and it's professionals who are paid to do this, while Be My Eyes, it's all volunteer. Now,
free, yes.
Yeah, Be My Eyes came out with a new AI feature called original is called a virtual volunteer. They rebranded to Be My AI, and a while back it was open to a very select few who had the ability to test this out. They opened the beta up a little bit more further out for other people. This round, you and I were able to get into it. I think we have a couple of other friends who were able to get into it, but last Monday they opened the beta to everybody else. So everybody else and their friends can now have access to Be My AI, play around with it. I don't know if you've played around with it. I've actually had a couple of instances I've used it, and I must say it works really well. Like I had a moment where I was gone to my parents' campground for the weekend, and I typically get up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I know I'm crazy getting up that early, but I had guide dogs for many, many years, and I got used to getting up very early. So and plus with a dog, I always had a routine. So I kind of stuck with that routine after my dog retired, and now that I don't have any more. So I'm up at around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, cause it takes me a couple of hours to get pretty. But anyway, so that weekend, I woke up and nobody was awake. I was alone. I need coffee. Sorry, my New Yorker accent just popped up. Coffee. But I needed some coffee. So I used Be My AI to scan my parents' coffee machine to figure out what button bloody did what, because they were all the same. And
all the same, meaning that they feel.
Yeah, well, they all felt the same. Yeah, so they were all shaped the same. It pretty much described me every button. Although I wasn't able to get the machine to work, that wasn't the Be My AI problem. That was because the actual coffee machine was broken. I didn't realize I had to slam it shut and hold the lid down in order for it to work. I thought mine, I have a Keurig machine. I just close the lid. It locks into place because it punctures the K-cup, and then it holds it, and then I can do my coffee. But with theirs, it didn't lock it. It didn't keep it down. So I had to, when you press down on it, it didn't work. You had to slam it a little bit harder, and then it triggered and it worked. But I didn't know that. But yeah, it was still kind of cool to be able to use Be My AI to scan it and give me some descriptions. And I was going to say, I also use it for pictures as well. A couple of friends of mine sent me some pictures, and I was able to scan them with Be My AI, and then from there create a caption for it. Because I have a lot of photos in my library. Not as much as you, but all right. So I have some. Actually, you know what? I got something for Apple. Apple, if you're listening to this, I've got some very good feedback, and you should do this because this will be bloody awesome. So, as you know, when you go to the iOS Photos app and you have your photo library and you navigate through it, and for a voiceover user, it is a pain in the ass, pardon my French, to be able to know what the picture is. You have to put a caption. And in order to do this, you tap on a photo to open it up. You go at the bottom, around the middle, maybe a little bit to the right bottom side, there's an info button. Tap on that. It becomes selected. At the very top, you have an option to add a caption. In here, you can also adjust the date that the photo was taken if the date's not accurate. Once you're done, you go back to the bottom, double tap on the info button to unselect it, and you're good. Now, one thing I wish Apple would do is that when you are in the photos, your recent or your library, and you're swiping through it with voiceover, please, wouldn't you be able to have VoiceOver read the caption by default when you are swiping through your photos. So that way, if you have a photo and you don't know what it is, you can add a caption. So next time when you swipe over it with VoiceOver, it reads the caption by default. For now, you got to turn the rotor to more content and then swipe up until you get to the captions. And it's fine, but if you could have by default the caption read aloud, so that way if you're in Facebook or in another app and you want to look at your photos, it could read the caption there as well. So that way you know by default, oh, this is this photo here. But they don't do that, and it's annoying.
Yes,
so I don't know. Do you use captions with your photos?
I don't, because I do have some vision, but I would definitely. I do see where some people who want to
because before you'd have to do a 2-finger double tap and hold, and then to rename the picture, but it didn't always stick. While a caption, I think if you use iCloud, it does sync it to iCloud. So if you go to a Mac or another phone, it'll sync it there. I can tell you it does not sync with iCloud for Windows. I have been not been able to look to find the caption on the photo, which sucks. I wish it was. I'm wondering if maybe if you use the iTunes to sync your photos, maybe it might do it there. I'm not sure. I might try disabling iCloud photos and then just syncing my photos through iTunes instead. That'd be cool if they could do the captions. I like that. That's one of the reasons I like Be My AI. I can actually scan the photo, give me an idea of what the heck the picture is. Actually, one of our friend Nolan, who actually told us a neat trick, was to take a photo, a selfie, and then have the Be My AI describe the photo in a beautiful way. And it comes out with this very dramatic, very beautiful description of the photo, which I think is complete baloney, because it says I have gray in my beard, and I don't have gray. I don't care what people say. I do not have gray. I am not that old. My hair is luscious brown. It's a beautiful color. It's not gray.
Okay, maybe the light was shining somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, well, people keep saying I do have gray, and I refuse to accept that because, as far as I know, I don't see it. Therefore, it does not exist. I don't see anything. So, but anyway, it's a joke. But
I do mention that I was making muffins, and I just literally just went and I just did a little snap. I didn't like pause because it was cooking. I didn't want to let all the heat come out of the oven, so I just literally popped the oven up, took a snap, closed the lid. And it told me everything. I posted in the group chat, right? I don't know if you saw it.
Yes, but, crispy muffins.
Crispy muffins. But so it described that there were 2 grill shelves inside. There was a blue light. The burner was on. It was the flame, or what do you want to call it? The light was showing that the flame was on, or the oven's on. It showed that the door had a windows that see through. It showed that there was muffins or cupcakes being baked. There's 12 of them, and it was pretty cool. It was awesome. It didn't tell me that they were chocolate chip ones. I don't know if they did or not.
Darn,
but they were chocolate chip ones.
I'm using it a little bit more. I'm not using it all the time, but I do use it occasionally, and I do find it works really well. And I'm glad it's open for everybody now. Anybody that wishes to try it out.
I love the fact. Now, before this even came out, you had to call someone, like a video call, and ask them, "Hey, where's this? Or what does this button do? What does a button beside this one do?" Right? Now you can actually take a photo and ask it follow-up questions about that item, and it does a really good job. So let's say if I took a picture of, let's say, the CR, what is it? What are those batteries again that you get with your AirTags?
The CR2032s, I think.
Yeah, so those ones. I took a picture of the back of that, and I asked. I just took a picture, and it started reading me everything. I paused it, and I asked it, "Hey, are these CR32 batteries?" And then it just gave me that answer right away. Yes.
Yeah. I told you 20 times this type of battery you need, and you didn't believe me.
No, I did buy it. But I couldn't find. But then I bought a different one, and for my fan